candidate I want to introduce is Leon Pereira. He is sitting beside me. He's 44 years old. He's married with two children, one daughter and a son. Leon has been helping out at the Workers' Party for about 2 years before deciding to become a member about a year and a half ago. Leon is also very involved in the policy group, and he helps out at various events, most of the Workers' Party events throughout the year. So, Leon.
Thank you. Just a short introduction for myself. I'm Leon Pereira. I'm the CEO of an international research consultancy operating in 8 countries. I was born in a 3-room flat in Commonwealth Drive. My parents were primary school teachers in neighborhood schools. And later on, when we moved to a flat in Telok Blangah, my parents voted in the Anson by-election that saw the Workers' Party win Singapore's first opposition seat in Parliament since the 1980s. I believe that it is important to take citizenship seriously. We are more than just residents. We should not see ourselves just as passive consumers of state services. We are citizens. We can and should take an interest in the political and social system of our country and try to shape it to reflect what we want the country to be. If we neglect to do so, then the system will be shaped in a way that is not in line with what we aspire to as a people. If we neglect the public sphere and retreat into private life, the public domain will come in through our front door one day. We may find, for example, that we don't have enough to retire on, that we don't have enough to pay our medical bills, or that our children cannot get the kind of schooling that we would like them to have. I inherited that worldview from my parents, who embodied the ideals of citizenship and embodied the ideal of caring about social and political issues, and I'm very grateful for that. Only through the debate and political contestation that comes with a strong opposition can the people be genuinely involved in determining the big questions about our country. Only then can we truly have a Singapore that we feel belongs to us. From the results of the last general election, the last presidential election, and the last 2 by-elections, I believe many Singaporeans share that view as well. If given the privilege to serve in Parliament, I would like to speak about retirement adequacy issues. I have many older relatives and friends whom I cherish dearly. Aging actively and with dignity is a subject that is very close to my heart. I would also like to talk about issues relating to our economy, how we should look at economic development in a more holistic way, as being not only about GDP, but being fundamentally about quality of life, incomes per working hour, living space, public transport comfort, educational opportunities, and so on. Ultimately, economic development should mean each citizen's ability to realize his or her full potential in the way he or she wants to. Thank you.
Thank you, Leon. The next candidate that I'd like to introduce is Frida Chan. She may look familiar to you because she was a WP candidate in the 2011 general election in a Moulmein Kallang GRC as it then was. Frida is 39, married, and gave birth to a son not long ago. She's a social worker by profession and currently working in a hospital. She joined WP about 9 years ago, and she's been active. She's served in various capacities, including being in the Executive Council, and has been active on the ground, particularly in welfare activities of our unit GRC. So I'll pass you over to Frida.
Thank you, Chairman. So thank you for the introduction. This is my second time coming forward to stand in the election. Why am I doing so? Because I believe in having both financial security and a fulfilling family life. So many families are caught with the need to provide financially and the need to care for family members, especially if they have young children or aging parents. There are barriers that discourage couples from starting and raising a family. There are also barriers that pose as stresses to caregivers. So speaking as a young mother, I feel the stress of many working parents who have limited resources to look after their young ones. A typical day might look like this. Early in the morning, they get up at about 6 or 6:30, rushing to prepare themselves for work and preparing the child, send the child to the infant care or child care at 7. Then they rush to work. and then they rush back afterwards. If not, there might be a penalty. Right? This is a typical routine that parents go through. If they have an aging parent, that is another concern. How to care for this aging parents? What are the support? If any of the child or the aging parents fall sick, is there enough childcare leave, family care leave? What is the support for them? There are also many caregivers for aging parents who do not have all these resources and have to resort to quitting and then depending on financial aids. But what, other than the financial support that is lacking, how about the respite for them? Can you imagine 24/7 looking after somebody who is frail, who is vulnerable? Social emotional care for all these people. Right, so there is a lot of gaps currently in the system. I hope that if I have a chance to represent the people, a voice in the parliament, to serve the people through policy making, I can be a very effective or productive member because I am in touch with all these people every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Frida. The final candidate we'd like to introduce to you for this election is Chen Jiasi Bernard. He's our youngest candidate at age 29. Ironically, he's one of the candidates with the longest service in the party, having been in WP for 9 years. Currently, he's handling projects in a charitable foundation. When I first knew Bernard, he was a student in the Polytechnic, but he has taken an amazing academic route, managed to get into NUS, and recently returned from Oxford University with the Masters of Science. Within the WP, he has played many roles over the 9 years, including being Youth Wing Secretary at one stage, and he's also been the legislative assistant to two MPs, first MP Lau Tia Kiang and now MP Muhammad Faisal. So over to you, Bernard.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chen Jiasi Bernard. I'm 29. I come from a family of four. My father is a coffee shop runner, and my mother is a part-time cleaner. In fact, I was born into a one-room rental flat in Tiong Bahru. And shortly after I was born, my parents moved into a three-room flat in Tampines. My family believed in a young nation state and invested our future in it. I grew up as Singapore came of age. While I did well enough to study in a junior college, I performed badly at the A-levels, leaving me with a rather uncertain future. The prospect of attending university was bleak, but an opportunity to restart my education at the local polytechnic presented itself. I took it and never looked back. Today, I'm a graduate from the National University of Singapore and the University of Oxford. I joined the Workers' Party in June 2006. It was something that I always wanted to do. In fact, for the longest time, I've always been interested in history and politics. And to me, this was a natural progression from this interest. And I think public service is something that's commendable. So why not sign up and serve? In my last 9 years in the Workers' Party, I've been very privileged to be a legislative assistant to Mr. Lau Tia Kiang and Mr. Muhammad Faisal. As a legislative assistant, you have to be on the ground, speak to people, and attempt to understand what their needs are. Essentially, you do your very best with the little you have. That itself is a very humbling and fulfilling experience. Singapore will be facing profound changes as we transit from SG50 into an uncertain but exciting future. The future of Singapore lies in our hands, lies in active investment in our Singaporeans here and now. There is also a need to better integrate demands of a rapidly aging population and the aspiration of young Singaporeans. We need to find a balance to reach a consensus and to work together once tough decisions are made. My ideal Singapore wouldn't just be a country or a city, it will be home. We have come a long way since independence, but we are not resting on our laurels. There's much work to be done, and as Singaporeans, we all have a role to play. By taking this step out today, I'm merely doing my part as a Singaporean to serve, to inspire, and to empower my fellow citizens. We can all dream of a better future again. We can all create and reimagine Singapore based on our hopes and aspirations. We can all look forward with confidence, knowing that our future is in our hands. But at the end of the day, we can all love an imperfect Singapore perfectly. Thank you.